Discovering Ohio series. Of course, as the COVID restrictions go away, more and more of us are getting out and exploring all the wonderful things that our state has to offer. And today I am live at Cedar Point. Betsy, Kling, and I were here yesterday. We had so much fun riding an amusement park ride. One of our favorite Steel Vengeance. But Betsy, I understand Mother Nature calls and you have to man the weather desk. I get that. I wish you were here, but I'll spend the next hour with you remotely.
And in true weather form, there's blue skies overhead, I'm sure, and really no threat. But it's all about potential. And we are going to start tonight with weather because we do have the potential for storms to begin firing up here over the next few hours. Matt Standridge is here with the latest on that. Matt?
Hey, Betsy and Jay, here's what's new. The Storm Prediction Center has released a new update to the storm risks for this evening. That orange color shows you the level 3 risk. Earlier, it used to be right up against the lake shores of Lake Erie, including downtown Cleveland. That has shifted over time. It looks like still the best environment may be just south and west of downtown Cleveland, but we're still in a level 2 for much of northeast Ohio. What's going on right now is that we're waiting for this warm front. It's a little bit delayed. It's not moving quite as fast, but this warm front continues to produce very strong, severe thunderstorms. In fact, we had a supercell earlier produce and confirm a large wedge tornado northwest of Dayton. So we're watching these thunderstorms continue to track very close to this warm front. But over the course of the evening, we'll watch this front continue to push off towards the north and east. But notice these thunderstorms continue to produce a lot of clouds, and some of those clouds will eventually be reaching Jay at Cedar Point. So we'll be watching that very closely. But we still have the chance for some of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms a little bit later into the evening. Since the warm front's taking its time, the storms may also take their time a little bit. We got a couple pop-ups right now near New Philadelphia and Dover. Watch out for those. Those continue to push off towards the south and east over time. But right now, temperatures are warm. It's humid. Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling, she's going to have much more on the forecast coming up. But notice that warm air towards the south and west. Cincinnati, 88. We're sitting at 81 right now. We'll have more and more details coming up.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on that potential. On your feet at 5, Cleveland police are asking state investigators to take a fresh look at 3 murder cases that have gone cold. The deaths of Eliza Sherman, Stephen Halton, and Ryan Dixon. This is welcome news for families who are waiting on justice. Eliza's daughter told our Sarah Shookman that she'd been asking questions about other investigative resources. Here's how Jennifer Sherman is feeling today.
And I think the right word is probably hopeful. Hopeful that this is a step of progress and a step in the right direction, that there is someone that got away with this and they still exist, and who's to say they won't do it again. I think the key is to keep it out there. I think for true unconditional love, you're persistent.
Well, it has taken persistence. Jen is hopeful new technology and new eyes could finally track down this killer. Stephen Halton's family told us they too find great hope in this news. Now BCI gets the documents and the evidence in order to work alongside Cleveland police to try to solve these murders. Last night it was chaos at Pinecrest. That's the outdoor shopping center in Orange Village. A huge crowd of hundreds were fighting and causing a scene requiring dozens of police agencies to respond. Our Brandon Simmons joins us live now with exactly what happened. Brandon, it sounds like it was pandemonium.
Yeah, pandemonium is one way to describe it for sure. Pinecrest, as you said, one of the premier shopping districts here on the east side of town. You can see Silver Spot Cinema anchors it on one end, and right in front of there is a lawn where Pinecrest would normally allow a free movie night on Thursdays and allow you to, sit out, bring a blanket. But yesterday's movie night attracted hundreds of teens via social media, and it quickly got out of hand. A lot of that video was posted online on social media. Initially, police responded for calls about the large crowd, and at one point, someone reported hearing gunshots in a 911 call. However, police afterwards said no shots were ever fired, but officers from dozens of departments did respond using their sirens, canines, and pepper spray to disperse the crowd and at times break up fights. Now, several people in adjacent restaurants initially called police to say things were getting out of hand, while others posted firsthand accounts to social media calling the entire situation ridiculous.
And there's about 200 kids in the middle here by the movie theater that are just running and screaming, and there's fights breaking out. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It has been like 5 fights. Pinecrest is trashed. They didn't tear gas these kids, which I don't blame them. I'm glad nobody got shot, but I'm happy they tear gassed them because this is utterly ridiculous.
Now, in total, police arrested 7 of the kids who were there, and they were later released to their parents. And despite the chaos, there were no injuries, no reports of damage to any property. So everything really just chaos in terms of the people who were here. Now, police say there were between 800 and 1,000 kids here at one point when they responded. And again, Betsy, all of this the result of a social media post getting people to come here. And now it's pretty safe to say movie night here is very likely over and not going to happen anymore.
Certainly an occasion that we'll be keeping our eye on, too. Brandon Simmons live for us tonight. Thank you. Jay?
Well, Betsy, so often when you come to Cedar Point, you don't even give one thought to all of the work that goes into getting the park ready every day. You show up, the rides are clean, they've been checked for safety, you smell the fried foods in the air, and the entire park, the landscaping, which is so voluminous, the landscaping is always on point. Well, that doesn't happen by magic elves. The park never sleeps. Once the park goers go home, shifts of crews come in to make sure the park is ready, the rides are safe, and everything is clean for park goers each and every morning. Betsy and I got a behind-the-scenes look yesterday.
A lot of people don't know that there's a lot of prep work that goes into getting Cedar Point ready each day. Some of those things that you might see around the park are landscapers making some adjustments to some of our plants and landscaping. We have associates that their sole job is to make sure everything's clean. Other things we do are maintenance inspections. Look at our rides, we look at our roller coasters, our wheels, our tracks, our safety systems. We have maintenance crews that work overnight when you're not even seeing anything that happens, or we have to do some repairs in the park or replace concrete, things like that. We're a regular business like most places are, so we have to do all of the things that you would expect us to do.
Thanks, Parker. Go ahead and step off your pad.
Our team is really dedicated to getting the park ready for guests every single day. All of these things get done before the park opens so that by the time you get here, you haven't seen any of this, and you're ready to have a safe and fun day at the park. It really does take an army of people to get the park ready just for one day of operation.
Close gates. Close the exit gate, please.
Everything is prepared for you to have that visit, so you don't have to think about those things. You can just forget about what's going on in the real world, come in, have a little fun, and then leave having some great memories.
Y'all excited?
Oh, you have no idea.
Really just seeing smiles on people's faces makes everything that we do have purpose.
I'm going full-on coaster here, Jay.
Our mission is to make people happy. That's our internal statement, and it's true.
So good. And we kept our hands down. I'm slightly deaf in my right ear, Betsy, thank you. We had a blast on the ride, we really did. Now remember, if you plan on coming to Cedar Point, you still have to make a reservation, and that's into the foreseeable future. They have not put a date on when the reservation will go away. So at least for now, check first, make the reservations. They're no longer actually doing the temperature checks. However, guests 10 and older who are not fully vaccinated are required to wear a mask if they are indoors. Other than that, the park is open, it is busy, and it is just as much fun as it ever was. Coming up next on What's New, it is the oldest coaster standing here at Cedar Point. We're going to tell you why Mike Polt Jr. says the Blue Streak is his favorite ride at the park. He also says it should be yours as well. And later, freedom, the ways. Cleveland is marking the Juneteenth holiday and why it's such an important day to observe. And right now, let's get another check of the weather, and for that, we throw it back to Matt Standridge. Matt, am I still in the clear, at least for the next, 45 minutes or so?
I think for 45 minutes we can be okay, but we rarely have you out in Cedar Point to watch those storms that could be firing up here in the next couple of hours. Right now, we're mainly dry. Got a couple pop-up showers right now close to Dover. But if you are trying to head out this evening, next couple of hours you may be okay, but after 7, 8 o'clock, a lot of these storms are expected to come on in. Here are some of the threats that we're expecting: damaging wind and large hail. Those are the main impacts that we're looking forward towards. But after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, thunderstorms will become more likely across Northeast Ohio. We'll have many more updates for you coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. We are live from Cedar Point in my hometown of Sandusky, Ohio. It's all part of our Rediscovering Ohio series as we get out and about and enjoy our lives once again. Mike Polk is here with us. We were having a conversation earlier about favorite rides, and I said, mine's top thrill, dragster. And he said, that's not a roller coaster.
Right.
And I said, no, technically it's not, but it is a ride.
It is a ride, but if we're doing that, then your favorite ride could be like bumper cars. You know what we're talking about.
Nobody's favorite ride is bumper cars.
I love the bumper cars.
Well, it's not your favorite.
I find the bully, and I just rail him into a corner. Whoever's being
that is
the
fun.
other kids,
yeah,
I just run right at them.
Big fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're talking roller coasters, I would say Steel Vengeance is my favorite. That's the one that Betsy and I rode yesterday. Very popular ride. You're retro. I mean, you got the old school Cavs shirt.
Boom.
Everything about Mike Polk is retro. Your favorite ride here is, it's the classic, it's the OG.
That's right. My favorite ride is the Blue Streak, and there's actually a psychological term for it. I am in a state of arrested development, I guess you would say, between this and the Blue Streak. It reminds me of my youth. It was the first roller coaster I ever rode. It's a classic. It's a wooden one. It's a little bit shaky, a little rickety still, but I like that. It makes you feel something. And so that's what I rode when I was given the opportunity to come here and ride a ride. Even Tony, who's been showing us around, very nice gentleman, he says, so what are you riding? I'm just like, Blue Streak. He's like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, I want to ride the Blue Streak.
You're simple that way.
Because I could have marched on anything, but I wanted to go the Blue Streak.
All right.
And so check out my ride on the Blue Streak and my tribute to it.
And we're back, baby! Obviously, Cedar Point has a ton of great roller coasters. In fact, roller coaster enthusiasts, which is a thing, come from all over the place just to ride these coasters, and they are intense. I have a personal favorite myself, and it might surprise you. It's this one, the Blue Streak. Oldest coaster in the park, Built in 1964, and she is a classic. Think about what this coaster has now witnessed and endured. 11 presidents, 5 popes, several recessions, the entire disco era. This thing was around when man landed on the moon. Is it the fastest? Not so much. It's a wooden coaster, and some people complain that it's a little bit of a rough ride, but I didn't come here for a massage. It's got a little hat on the top of it. That's fun. It's a roller coaster that I truly appreciate. It's time to get back in the saddle. I'm gonna ride my favorite roller coaster for the first time in over a year while reading a poem that I wrote about it to anyone who will listen. Let's go. I'm sorry I'm a jerk, guys. Is everyone cool if I recite a poem about the blue streak while we're on here? Great, thank you. Everyone's supportive. Thank you. 57 years of excellence. A loving ode to my favorite roller coaster, the Blue Streak. An ode to the Blue Streak. Roll on, mighty Blue Streak, and once again roar. Of course there are rides that may offer more thrills. Many go faster and have steeper hills. Harsh weather and time may have faded your blue, but you're sturdy and well-worn, seasoned and true. Time marches on, yet you still endure. So roll on, mighty Blue Streak, for many years more. Woo! Blue Streak! She's back, baby!
So I wonder what other roller coaster can say they've had a poem written in its honor.
And it deserves it. I really was. I feel like I entertained everybody on the ride, too.
Did they finally buy in?
Yeah, and they did. They got on board by the end of it.
Good.
But then some girl lost her sunglasses, and she took all of my glory away. We all got really wrapped up in that.
So the drama was gone.
You know what I think is adorable? You think you're going home right after this? You know we're riding here all night, right, buddy?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
they're going to keep the park open until midnight, until we're done riding every single ride at least twice.
Just making sure you know that.
And by the way, I hope Cedar Point honors Mike's poem and puts it on a plaque right outside where you wait in line for the Blue Streak. I think that would only be fair.
I think that's fair to both me and the legacy of the Blue Streak.
Betsy, we'll throw it back to you. I still like Steel Vengeance.
Yeah, I do too. That Blue Streak is a kidney buster. It's awesome when you're like 8 years old. And then as soon as you hit to the point where like you feel things in your bones, then that becomes a big problem. So, hey, you know, we are still keeping an eye out for thunderstorms to develop across Northeast Ohio. Check it out over the next few hours. We're still looking for our storm initiation. That's right, it will ignite as we head over the next couple of hours, and then it starts to settle down late tonight. Here's the situation right now on the radar. We really have just a few little blips, and those blips are some light showers that are down in southern portions of Carroll County. Not expecting that to be, and right, they'll pop back on, don't worry. Wouldn't that just be a beauty? But this is a tornado watch that's in western Ohio, so we'll kind of dive into that in just a few minutes. But when it comes to severe weather forecasting, nothing is ever guaranteed. And last night we were talking about the morning rain, what would happen after the morning rain, and then that would be the setup for the evening round. Well, we had the morning rain that lasted longer, laid more clouds down. The clouds were a little more stubborn. Now we have sunshine, but did we miss the window of peak heating? That's always the big question because you need the heat to really get things rocking and rolling. All of these clouds, as you see here, headed towards Sandusky, Norwalk, that's all debris clouds, the upper level clouds that are firing off of thunderstorms in eastern Indiana and western Ohio. But we are seeing quite a bit of sunshine here, even with that cirrus deck. We have sun that is poking through, and that has helped to warm us up. We're sitting at 81 now in Elyria, 81 in Mansfield. And remember, thunderstorms love heat and they love humidity. So not only are we warming, which right now we're probably going to cap that off, but we have really seen an increase in the humidity levels. I'm sure you're feeling it out there with those dew points in the mid and upper 60s. All right, the bigger picture shows these thunderstorms just wailing in portions of western Ohio. These are tornadic storms. They're big. They are starting to fizzle just a little bit right now, but keep in mind, we still have many hours here, probably about 4 hours, where the window is open for more development to take place. But you can see that cirrus deck that I was just referencing right there that's headed up towards Sandusky. We talk about CAPE, Convective Available Potential Energy. This is the juju of the atmosphere. Look where the best juju is. It's west of us. So if anything, this will hopefully signify that we can lay back just a little bit. That being said, look, they've got a tornado warning right now here northwest of Piqua. That is going to continue to move to the southeast. So looks like it's going to stay west of Columbus and north of Dayton at this point. But boy, that is certainly a concern. Here's our National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Scattered storms bubbling up over the next couple of hours. That is right on target. We're probably going to see some strong storms. We may see some severe storms. Wind and hail look to be our big threats right now. But as we get into the late night tonight, that starts to fade. But of course, then we have to set up for the weekend. And that's where Matt Standridge comes into the story.
And Chief, you're exactly right. That boundary that we've been watching push northward with the heat and humidity continues. But what's going to happen this weekend is that we're not completely done with thunderstorms. In fact, that front is going to push north and it's just going to stall right along Lake Erie and then back towards the west, towards northern Indiana. Storms like boundaries. So what's going to happen this weekend? We have more chances for thunderstorms. The best chance for severe weather, just like Betsy was talking about, is this evening into the overnight hours a little bit. For the next couple of days, for your Saturday and Sunday, big weekend, right? Father's Day weekend. We still have chances for thunderstorms, but the severe threat may be a little bit lower. In fact, we're just under a level 1 severe threat, includes all of Ohio. But that goes tomorrow afternoon. Sunday, actual Father's Day, we could be talking about a couple pop-ups here and there, but I think we'll get a little bit more sunshine going into Sunday. So for tomorrow, afternoon thunderstorms likely to fire once again, not as strong as they may turn out to be a little bit later this evening. A stray pop-up going in on Sunday. The heat, though, continues. Those 80s and that humidity just linger right through Monday. By Monday night, a cold front comes through. By the middle of next week, will be a lot cooler. But this weekend, you do have to watch out for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. More of what's new is coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. We are live here at Cedar Point, but of course, that's not the only thing happening around town in Northeast Ohio this weekend. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, and that, of course, is a celebration of the emancipation of slaves in the U.S. That happened back, of course, in 1865. And Cleveland is pulling out all the stops with plenty of events and activities planned to commemorate this monumental day in American history. Our January Keaton now tells us what we can expect around Northeast Ohio this weekend.
Considered the longest-running African-American holiday, June 19th is a day not only of celebration, but a day to reflect on the triumph of freed slaves. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery in all states, but Texas hung on to the practice for 2 more years until June 19th, 1865, or Juneteenth.
So many don't know about what Juneteenth is, and this is the opportunity for us to educate them.
Downtown Cleveland gearing up for a big Juneteenth celebration tomorrow.
So tomorrow we want the entire community to come down and be a part of this joyful gathering.
The largest Juneteenth event in the area, the Metro Health Cleveland Freedom Fest, promises family-friendly fun, food, music, art, even fireworks, rain or shine.
This event is actually a celebration, but also a realization that the fight has not finished. And we look at inclusion, diversity, and equity. That's really what it's all about.
Cleveland cultural staple Caramoo House performing at Freedom Fest.
New works, and then we're doing a couple of Nina Simone songs and some stuff like What's Going On.
Looking for a job? Freedom Fest has that covered too.
We will have a number of booths. We're doing some interviewing. We have plenty of job openings.
Come on down. There are over 20 black vendors down here, a wealth of activities from young people. It's a family-friendly event.
Come down, bring a friend, bring somebody that doesn't know about Juneteenth, because we can't assume that everyone, including people of color, know the significance of Juneteenth.
January Keaton, 3 News.
Sounds like that is going to be an awesome place for the family. Well, for our Worth the Watch, we take you high above the mountains in Lebanon, where a trio of wingsuit flyers from France recently took to the sky for the first flight over the country's highest peak. That's more than 10,000 feet in the air to begin their flight. It's a very technical jump to make, and as they head into valleys, they sometimes get dangerously close to the ground. Jay, I think you would probably totally be in line to do that. I would like to watch your GoPro video, and that would probably be enough for me.
I have made a life decision, Betsy. I'm going to proclaim it right here.
Oh, boy.
That's what I'm going to be when I grow up. That right there. I'm going to be a flight suit flyer, and I will absolutely share my GoPro video with you. I can't wait to do it. I want to go over the Grand Canyon. I want to go over a lot of, world monument type places. But I will absolutely share my video. But that's what I'm going to do when I grow up.
I think that's a very, very noble thing to do. But maybe we should start with being able to raise our hands on the roller coaster. That's probably step number 1.
They told us we weren't allowed, so we kept them down the whole time. All right, coming up next at 5:30 in the second half hour, the latest developments with the tricky weather conditions as we head into the evening. Betsy's all over that, so is Matt. The areas that could see the most severe weather, plus a true comeback story. We're going to tell you how Sandusky has reinvented itself over the years as Northern Ohio's coastal tourist destination. And more than 150 years strong, that is Cedar Point. And we're going to tell you the ways the park is celebrating their 150th birthday. It's quite a year, and we'll run it down for you when What's New comes right back live from Cedar Point.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And thank you so much for staying with us here on What's New on this Friday afternoon. I'm Jay Crawford, live from Cedar Point, as we kind of get out and about and show everybody that Ohio is alive and well. And certainly now that the pandemic restrictions are gone, everybody is enjoying things like the amusement park here in Sandusky, Cedar Point. Betsy, we were here yesterday, and we know that the park is operating obviously on a different capacity level, but the park was very busy. There was traffic coming in, tons of people. It really is good to see that this part of Ohio is back and back strong.
Definitely is. And just a reminder to everybody to please pay attention while you are waiting in line to drive in. There's a whole new gate system to get into the park for parking. Just be advised of that. If you're going just to the park, stay right, I'll tell you. But I saw a lot of fender benders from people probably like not paying attention while they're waiting in line and they smacked into the person in front of them. So be advised that that's not how you want to start your day at the Cedar Point. But a lot of folks didn't go this morning because the rain was falling. That rain set us up for the rest of the day today. Matt Standridge keeping an eye on what is left of all of these thunderstorms as we still count down to summer. I mean, it's still very spring-like in here, Jay. We just had the 2 days left of spring until summer starts. So it looks like things are going to be off to a little bit of a rumbly start to our summer, Matt.
Yeah, our peak severe weather season is really right now and going into the first parts of July, so this is the time to definitely do it. But we've been watching and waiting all afternoon. We waited for those clouds and those showers that kind of took their time to clear up, try to get some sunshine, help rejuvenate the atmosphere. And we're starting to do that, and we will have that potential for Mewborn pop-ups coming up a little bit later this evening. Right now, of course, right at 5:32 at the moment. As we get closer for another hour and a half to 2 hours, some more pop-ups will be likely. Here are some of the severe threats that we're talking about. I think most of these storms, the two biggest threats will be damaging winds and also some pockets of hail. We've seen some of that towards the west and western Ohio. In fact, we've seen spin in the atmosphere. There is a slight tornado risk as well, but notice the timing on all this. Right now we're at the 5 o'clock hour. We're kind of watch and wait mode, right? That yellow color. But as we get towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll have better chances for more of those thunderstorms. As we approach 10, 11 o'clock, some of these should start to continue to fade. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. We're now under a level 2 severe risk right along the lakeshore. That level 3 severe risk still includes south towards Mansfield, Ashland County, Holmes County, as you get towards Canton area, and also heading south towards Dover and New Philadelphia. I think the best energy, the best chance for thunderstorms to continue to fire up will be central Ohio, but we could still get a couple more pop-ups. Jay, we may need to have you get on a roller coaster, get super, super high to see if you see any thunderstorms at the distance. That's your new job for the rest of the afternoon. Jay.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Well, you know, I'm from Sandusky, a proud Sandusky resident and native, and I can honestly tell you that I don't know that I've ever been more proud of my hometown. Downtown is in the midst of a huge renovation. Eric Wubser, the city manager, has done such a terrific job bringing in new businesses. It's almost like if you haven't been there for 10 years, you wouldn't recognize it. This was once an industrial and manufacturing town, which leaned heavily on the recreation side as well. But now it's almost entirely a service and recreation town, and they have really reinvented themselves as such. Mark Namick came to Sandusky a short while ago to see how the city is handling the transition from the pandemic and what's ahead this summer.
We were really humming going into 2020 in Sandusky, and we were so excited and really felt like we were ready for our close-up.
The town ready to show off new investment in its refashioned waterfront when the pandemic cut off a reliable flow of tourists from nearby Cedar Point, which generates a third of the city's taxes.
We probably got punched in the face by COVID-19, particularly financially, as hard as any community in the state.
Sandusky made dramatic budget cuts, canceled events and festivals at the new Jackson Street Pier. Business owners shifted plans.
I guess I should say, Top Thrill Dragster style drop over across the bay there of everything just shutting down. It scared us, but I think if anything, it proved how resilient this community is and how really awesome this area is.
As the summer went on, even with a limit at Cedar Point and the nearby shuttered Kalahari Water Park, people found their way back to the 200-year-old city, drawn to its walkable downtown and waterfront.
To lose those big two, 600-pound gorillas and still thrive as a city and a destination, it shows you that power of tourism. Our outdoor venues saw record numbers. Beaches, they saw triple their normal parking lot revenue last year because, again, people were trading those other attractions for that outdoor space where they could spread out on a beach and still have a vacation or still have that family getaway.
The city lost some businesses, but others grew, selling out of its boards and kayaks, paddle and climb, now adding a tiki bar to the back of its store, and signs of a promising summer already evident.
We have an Airbnb rental in the shop, so above us, and I've found that that's almost pretty much sold out for the summer or getting close. So that tells me that folks are certainly looking to visit the area.
Andrea Crawford worried last spring about the pandemic's hit, but saw an increase of boaters at her dockside cafe. Her wine bar downtown adjusted to health orders and ultimately expanded with a patio, customer traffic now growing.
So the path that Sandusky was on for this growth, I don't think it stopped. It might have slowed down a little bit, but it's definitely on growth still. We have new construction going on right across the street from us. We have buildings that were in disrepair from a bad storm that are being renovated. We have new condos being built in old buildings. We have businesses expanding.
Waterfront festivals and events postponed last summer, back on this year. There's talk of a new hotel and conference center down the road. Optimism as steady as the winds across the bay.
We're also bouncing back quickly, and we think we'll recapture that momentum and are really very excited to welcome people back to the community in 2021.
The last year has proven that even a pandemic can't keep Sandusky and its people from achieving its comeback. And with Cedar Point reopening again, it's ready to show off all that is old and new. I'm Mark Namick, 3 News.
All right, Mark, great job. And I think he really did a great job of capturing the spirit of the city, particularly downtown, which is the heartbeat of any city. Betsy, I'm here every weekend, as you know, and it's incredible to me to see the increased foot traffic, just the number of bodies that are now downtown on a regular basis. And those concerts that Mark talked about on the grassy area at the Jackson Street Pavilion, those will be starting up soon. The city's showing real bounce back, and I know they were hit hard by the pandemic, but it's a wonderful place to be, and it's really alive and well right now.
Well, I got to tell you, my entire life of living in Northeast Ohio, we would go to Cedar Point. Not once did we go to the city of Sandusky.
Sure,
so if you have not gotten, beyond Cedar Point in Sandusky, it's definitely worth it, even if only for just a little bit. Maybe go a little bit earlier than expected or bounce out of the park for a little while, but it's definitely worth it. It's a beautiful place and a whole lot of hardworking folks live there.
Absolutely, a lot going on here.
Definitely. All right, Jay, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again in just a few minutes. But up next for us, from Congress to the cabinet, the cause that is bringing HUD Secretary Marcia Fudge back to Cleveland for the first time since taking on her new role. And later, more than 150 years of thrills. The new ways Cedar Point is celebrating this milestone anniversary. Waiting and watching. That's a lot of what you do with weather. You put a forecast out there and then you wait to see what sticks. It doesn't always work out, but a lot of times it does. Look at the pop-ups that are happening just over the border here, due east of the Portage County area. So we do have some new development that is popping on the radar. The question is, what are we going to see happening in here? And that, unfortunately, only time will tell. The conditions are there. We just have to wait and watch to see what's going to happen. We have been seeing some sunshine, being obscured by high-level clouds. These are called anvil clouds. So this is a cirrus clouds way high in the atmosphere. It's all ice, and it is downwind of big thunderstorms that are happening down in southwestern Ohio right now. But we did manage to get some sunshine in here, and that helped to get our temperatures up. You know, yesterday we thought the morning rain would get out of here a lot faster. We'd get into the sun a lot sooner, and that would mean we would be even warmer. We only made it to about 80 or so. We really thought if we saw enough sunshine, we would probably make it into the mid 80s. That did not happen. That's not a bad thing because that's helping to kind of put the cap on the bottle. But that being said, we still have these clouds that are coming in. It looks awful murky out to the west, doesn't it? But there's nothing showing up on the radar yet. So we wait and we watch. We'll see what happens. It is in the low 80s west of I-71. We're still in the upper 70s east. That southwest wind, though, continues to pump in the humidity, and our dew points are in the mid and upper 60s. We say it time and time and time again. You need heat, you need humidity, you need a trigger. And the trigger is a warm front that is sitting out to the west of us. Sometimes you can get a trigger off of previous thunderstorms that have fired up. Look at this cluster of storms that is ongoing here coming out of Indiana. They had a large tornado on the ground in Jay County, Indiana, and then that kind of was moving off to the east. It's that thunderstorm right there, but you can see that is now pilfering out just a little bit as it is going to continue to move to the southeast. But there is some more that's popping up. They're waiting and watching too. Look at these tornado warnings going on. Let's pop in here real quick and we'll kind of query this and just see what we get as we're looking at all these clusters of storms. Okay, so we know there's the tornado warnings there. This is all northwest of Dayton. And if we put on the reflectivity, you can see the thunderstorms are pretty much beginning to die out. But that is pretty beastly right there. And again, these are the same storms that were up here toward Portland, Indiana. And that's where we had the tornado warnings earlier. So keeping a close eye on all of that. Now let's go hour by hour on your National Design Mart forecast. Clouds in place. Thunderstorm potential still there as we go through the next few hours. I think by the time we hit about 10, 11 o'clock, that's when we could probably call it. So we're just going to wait and watch. The later it gets, the less chances for the thunderstorms to develop. That's the good news. And then by tomorrow morning, you can see we have clouds, temps in the 70s, and that is where Matt Standards picks up the rest of the weekend forecast.
Hey, Chief. Yeah, we still have that chance for more storms continuing into Father's Day weekend. Of course, right, big weekend for us. But tonight is probably the best chance for that severe potential. As we go into your Saturday and Sunday, we got the rain timeline. So the hills with the green show you the best chance for rain. So on the left side, we have Saturday. In the morning, there could be a leftover shower, but like Betsy was just talking about, maybe not a big deal anymore once we go into the overnight hours and early into tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, there could be a few more pop-ups. The same boundary, the same system is kind of sitting over us, but the severe potential doesn't look as bad. Then for Sunday, for actual Father's Day, there's about a 20% chance for a quick pop-up, but overall the chances look a lot lower. The severe risk for tomorrow, just a level 1, that includes all of Ohio. So we'll be watching closely for you guys. But when we're looking at the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, still more chances for thunderstorms. The heat, the humidity, the system that has come in today is still going to stick around with the warmth all the way through Monday. And then, Betsy, by Monday afternoon and evening, a cold front's going to wipe out the heat and humidity for at least a couple days. Some cooler weather will be here by the middle of next week.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks so much, Matt. Well, U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Marcia Fudge today made her first visit to Cleveland since taking up her new post. The former area congresswoman came with a mission, one that aims to level the economic playing field for lower-income black households. Leon Bibb explains.
It was here at Cleveland State University that housing leaders and civil rights leaders announced a new initiative to increase the numbers of black home owners in this country. The keynote speaker of the Black Homeowners Initiative was former Cleveland area Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, now the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development in the Biden administration. The Black Homeowners Initiative is a coalition of 100 organizations and individuals committed to creating 3 million new black homeowners by 2030. The goal is to close the gap between white and black homeowners in the U.S.
that home ownership is the cornerstone of the American dream.
At the same time at Cleveland State, Secretary Fudge announced she will make it easier for mortgage borrowers with student loan debt to qualify for federally guaranteed mortgages. In a news conference, Secretary Fudge said it was good to be home again, a reference to Cleveland and to CSU from where she graduated. She said it will be through HUD's efforts and those of the Black Homeowners collaboration to help create 3 million new Black homeowners. It will be good for them to be in their homes, she said. I'll have more on Secretary Marcia Fudge's comments on our 11 o'clock broadcast. For 3 News, I'm Leon Bibb.
Next up for us, Cedar Point is getting ready to celebrate its 150th anniversary. Jay gets a first look at all the fun activities the park has planned. And later, we have something good to show you, the way one young girl is helping her local police department reunite families with their lost pets. We'll be right back.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, and then I go to an amusement park.
Yeah, it got
Maybe we'll
caught on me.
backtrack on that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I do.
This is Tony's mic. Hi. Hello. How are
Next
you?
for us, a girl's heart of gold.
La la
and
la la
drive
la.
to make a difference. Okay.
I'm still going. It's Cedar Point. It's a beautiful day. Or actually better, the beast. I mean, the beach.
All right, welcome back to What's New. We are live from Sandusky, Ohio. Cedar Point, in my view, the best amusement park on the planet. Certainly the best roller coaster park, no question about that. Now, last year was supposed to be a big year for the park. It was the 150th anniversary, but of course the pandemic got in the way of all of that. But never to let a great marketing opportunity slip away, the park decided, hey, we've got all these things planned. Let's just move it to this year. And that's exactly what Cedar Point is doing. Let's bring in Tony Clark now. He is the Director of Communications. Great to see you again, Tony.
Good to see you as well.
So for those that are wondering what's planned for this 150th celebration, when does it start and what's going on? What can park goers look forward to?
Well, a week from tomorrow is when it all begins and runs through August 15th. So that's our delayed anniversary celebration. You know, we wanted to celebrate last year. Of course, we were disappointed just like everybody else was that we couldn't live a normal life. So this year we're doing everything we were going to do last year. So we're going to have the Celebrate 150 Spectacular Parade parade, which is going to go down the Midway, and we're going to have a giant party every night during the celebration. We have the Snake River Expedition Family Boat Ride, which just opened this year, and that's now open for families. We have commemorative merchandise of old attractions, the 150th anniversary logo. We have new food options, including the Taste of the Point, where you can literally eat your way around the park and taste some of our famous.
I want to know more about that because I love the
food
in any celebration.
Yeah, so you buy a tasting card and you basically make your way around the park and you get your card punched and you try a unique food item at several locations. You do not have to do this in one day, by the way.
Oh, good.
So you can take some time to do it. But we're taking like our fresh cut fries, which we're known for, and we're adding cilantro and lime to them. So we're giving them a little bit of a twist. Plus all your favorites that you have in the park as well. Our funnel cakes, our elephant ears, and all those are still here. But you know, the celebration is in this small time period. It's a great time to come out. The parade's the big highlight at night. The merchandise, the buttons, we have collectible buttons now that you can buy and you can collect and trade with other guests in the park. And plus, a really cool program we're doing is a free button outside of the Pagoda gift shop where you can write the first year you visited here, either by yourself or as a family member. And so everybody hopefully will be wearing them so you can see when people started their traditions at the park. So again, the whole team's excited to get it started. We've been planning it for many years, and you know, we just had to say, man, that's not good. So we kind of limited operation last year. We're getting back to normal now, and we're excited.
Well, we're glad that you are. And for me, growing up, my birthday's 4th of July.
Oh,
Cedar Point fireworks.
We have fireworks for your birthday.
That's what I thought.
But no, it is.
Yeah. I was 10 before I learned that it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But big fireworks planned for the 4th this year, as always?
Yeah, 4th of July happens. Our big celebration there, Cedar Point Nights on the beach. We electrify the beach at night during that celebration. So we're still trying to get all of our events back to normal, getting the park back to normal. And, you know, this is the year we were supposed to celebrate last year, but that's okay. Everybody's delaying it. Everyone's making those concessions and changing things. So that's what we're doing this year. And we really want everyone to come out and celebrate with us.
You never cancel a good party. You just postpone it. And that's exactly what Cedar Point has done.
Yeah.
Tony mentioned the food. I want to throw it back by saying this. The food at the park has upped its game exponentially over the last couple of years. They've offered a lot more different menu items, and it's all good. Tony, thank you very much. And thanks for having us out here today. We've enjoyed it.
It's great to have you guys, and come party with us.
Absolutely, we will. Coming up, well, it's a young girl's heart of gold and drive to make a difference. How she's helping a local police department reunite lost dogs with their families. And we're keeping with the Cedar Point theme for today's pop quiz, the roller coaster. How do you pronounce that?
Rougarou.
Rougarou. How do I not know that? Well, was it the Mean Streak? Was it the Mantis, or was it Wildcat? I remember all of those. We're going to have the answer when we come back. All right, so let's answer our pop quiz question. We asked what the roller coaster Rougarou. It used to be called something else, and I'm always the last to know these things. I have always called it what it's originally been called. But Tony, you want to give us the answer here?
It's if you guessed Mantis, you're correct.
Yeah. So when did they change the name and
so
why?
that was 2015. The Mantis was a stand-up roller coaster initially.
Right.
And guests
there weren't many of those worldwide.
No, and we built the biggest one, of course, but we wanted to make it more comfortable, so we did a floorless coaster. So now you sit down and ride it instead of standing
and
up.
it is much more comfortable.
I would have to agree with you, and our guests think so too. So we're good there.
Yeah. My favorite ride of all time, Bets, it's been gone for years. It was called the Rotor. It would spin around real fast, and the floor would drop.
Yes.
And you'd stuck against the wall. I loved it. I wish they'd bring that back.
A lot of people called that the vomit comet. Yes, I remember it well.
The vomit comet.
Yes, we don't want that one either.
Yeah, we'll put that on.
Yeah, we were talking about the witch's wheel yesterday. Oh, the good days.
Witch's wheel
all
as
that
well.
good stuff.
That
all right,
was a
hey,
good
it's time to tell everybody about something good. Let us show it to you. It's going to take us to Amherst in Lorain County, where a young girl lost her dog, and there's a happy ending, okay? Just hang in there. Amherst police helped her find the dog, and then she returned the favor holding a fundraiser. She collected $600 to help the department buy a chip reader so they can easily scan lost dogs who are chipped and reunite them with their families faster. The donations were unveiled at a special ceremony today. That's a pretty sweet deal. You know, she ran into some problems. They helped her out.
And they raised enough funds not only to purchase a chip reader, but they raised enough funds to purchase this huge cage, which I could probably sleep in, and also some water bowls and other goodies for dogs that we might run across.
Isn't that sweet? A local dog shop called Alpha Dog is training the officers so everyone will know how to use the scanner to help local dogs. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. Great
Jay,
story.
I hope you're having fun out there. You and Mike are going to go ride some rides, I understand.
That is definitely going to happen, absolutely, yeah. I wish you were here, Bets. I know you had to be back there for the weather, but we'll do it again sometime soon.
We will. We don't have a 6 or a 7 as you get to enjoy the U.S. Open. Matt Standridge will have the latest on the forecast. Lena Lai with the What's Next broadcast coming up at 11.
Yes. Yeah, let's get that knocked out. All right. Do I need to switch that? Or do you got it? Do you know where the remote?
I usually have my graphics in there, but that is the SAM, which is one up or one down.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. We're going to try to just knock this out real quick.
Yes.
Be done. Oh, okay. Oh, true. That's right.